Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Thursday, December the 30th, 2021. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am here to discuss a small four-game NBA slate, main slate on all three Draftkings Fanduel and Yahoo. Main slate starts at 7 p.m. So a couple of things about yesterday. We had a few guys that didn't quite get to the number that we wanted to. We had some mid 300 scores, did a little bit of cashing here and there, but we've gotten spoiled around here this last week. At least I have. I want that top 1% lineup every night. So I decided that we're going to go after it tonight. Let's get right back on that top 1% bandwagon and just keep it rolling from there. A couple of quick things. If you want to join us, dfscoachtalk.com is the place to go. We still have a handful of those 22 spots offered for $22 to celebrate the new year. I believe they'll all be filled here probably by New Year's Day. But if you'd like to join, you still can. You get 2 full weeks of DFS Coach Talk, all access, everything we've got for that $22. Just go to dfscoachtalk.com and you'll see the offer right there. Also, we have all kinds of different memberships. Even if you just want to try us out for 3 days for $10, you are more than welcome to do that. We will invite you in with open arms. If you're watching this right now on YouTube, a quick thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. And also, if you can make a quick comment or question, that combination really helps us on the algorithm on YouTube, and we are moving up pretty fast, and we'd like to keep that progression happening. If you're listening audio-wise, there's only 2 days, today and tomorrow. If you listen on the audio podcast through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, wherever you listen, take a second, give us a 5-star or top rating, quick comment. We're going to have a drawing the day after tomorrow, our regular monthly drawing for a full week of Coach Talk, all access. So definitely take a shot at that. All right, my friends, here we go. We've 2 days left in this 2021 year. We're finishing on fire, and let's get these last 2 days as big winners. We have 4 games, as I mentioned. The first game is at 7 o'clock. It's Milwaukee and Orlando. Milwaukee's favored by a big 13.5, so a little bit of a concern. 218.5 total, 116 implied for Milwaukee, 102.5 for the Orlando Magic. Milwaukee comes into the game 23-13, Orlando 7-28. Only guy out for Milwaukee at all, no other injury designations at all, is Brook Lopez. Everybody else full strength for Milwaukee. Orlando wishes they could say this. That is not the case. They have 2 probable players in Mo Bamba and Terrence Ross. All the rest of these guys, unfortunately, are out. Anthony, MCW, Fultz, Gravett, Isaac, Lopez, Moore, Mulder, Okeke, and Suggs. So they are just decimated. So definitely a concern, blowout concern is something we have to consider. Statistically speaking, for pace, Milwaukee 12th, Orlando 16th. So you can't get much more middle of the road than that. Milwaukee is 8th defensively, but Orlando is 27th. So really, one of those type of games where there's not a massive advantage either way. Again, my biggest concern is blowout. You've got just a really stout Milwaukee team, which also makes you not want to really go there. You've got an 8.9 Drew Holiday, an 8K Chris Middleton, 11.6 Giannis, and Bobby Portis at 7.5, who absolutely destroyed it last time out. He must have been feeling the DeMarcus Cousins footsteps or something. All those guys, I understand it. All those guys are playable in a scenario like this. I'm not going there just right off the schneid here. I just don't trust it. Giannis at 11.6 is a big number. You may need him on a 4-game slate to get to the promised land and have an optimal lineup. But I'm going to try to diversify in a few other spots to get there. On the Orlando side, I really like RJ Hampton. I liked him the last time, and then he got bumped from the starting lineup. I do think at 3.9, he's still a fantastic buy. And when he's on the floor for solid minutes, can do very, very well. The other two obvious plays for Orlando, Franz Wagner at 7K and Wendell Carter Jr. at 7.6. Those two guys should get the majority of the usage along with Hampton. And even though it's a blowout, they're so low on depth with the team. Right now, their bench looks like Gillespie, Schofield, Frazier, and Brazdeikis. So you're going to get extra run from those guys, especially like an RJ Hampton. So I will be going to Orlando for some value. All right, game 2 happens to be the highest total on the board. It's the Philadelphia 76ers at the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn favored by 5. 220.5 is that total. 107.75 implied for Philly. 112.75 for the Brooklyn Nets. Philly comes in at 18-16. Brooklyn at 23-9. As far as designations here, we've got Danny Green, who looks like he's going to return. He is probable. 2 questionable tags on Andre Drummond and Shake Milton. And then we know Ben Simmons remains out. 4 guys out for Brooklyn: Edwards, Harris, Irving, and Sharp. So the return of Kevin Durant certainly takes away the plug-and-play James Harden that we've had the last few times out. Statistically, Philadelphia 29th in pace, so that's definitely a pace down game for Brooklyn. Brooklyn is 6th, so you have the opposite effect in pace up for Philadelphia. Defensively, Philadelphia is 18th, and shockingly, Brooklyn is 5th, and so they are getting it done on that side of the ball. As far as we break this down, you've got a team with just most of their pieces back for Philly in probably Maxey, Curry, Harris, Embiid starting for sure. And those guys are all playable. Maxey's only 5'6". I still think that's a great price for him. Curry at 6K, a little more GPP-ish for me. You can go up here, Tobias Harris at 8.8 or Joel Embiid at 11. I think both of those guys are in play with a pace-up game. But, again, Brooklyn does play decent defensive efficiency, especially at home. So something to consider there, not for sure lock plays. On the other side, now you go back to this, Harden or Durant dilemma. Harden's 11-1, Durant's 11-2. It's not like they're going to ease Durant back. He always dives in and plays monster minutes. I do think both guys are great plays. I mean, Harden's been phenomenal. I think Durant could be equally as terrific. If you want to go on the cheaper side, you've got Patty Mills at 7.2, LaMarcus Aldridge at 6.1. Those guys definitely have a chance to do well in this game. Also, all right, other 2 games, third game, 7 o'clock. So we've got 3 7 o'clock games, and then we have to wait 2.5 hours for the last game at 9:30. So that's an interesting setup, not normal. The next game is Cleveland Cavaliers, Washington Wizards. Washington favored by 3.5. 210 is the total, so not great. Lowest on the board. 103.25 implied for Cleveland. 106.75 implied for the Washington Wizards. Cleveland comes in at 20-14, but the devastating news of losing their leader, Ricky Rubio, to a torn ACL, which really sucks. Loved watching him play this year. He was playing some fantastic basketball and really was the guts of that team. So we'll see how Cleveland does They're 20-14. They're definitely going to feel that sting of the loss of Rubio. Wizards come in at 500 at 17-17. So for Cleveland, other designations, we've got Jetty Osman and Dylan Windler are probable. We have Lamar Stevens is questionable. And then we know the big man Allen, along with Garland, Rubio, and Davis all out. So Cleveland definitely feeling the sting now of injuries and COVID. Washington has Gill probable, Bradley Beal also probable, and he missed the last game, so that's a big shift. Want to make sure he's in. KCP now is on the questionable status bar. So after that, the guys out: Bryant, Hashimura, Harrell, Holiday, and Neto. So there are some different combinations of guys that are going to get in here and be key for this game. As far as statistically, two slow teams, Cleveland 19th and Washington 26th. So that's why you got that low 210 total. Cleveland playing terrific defense at third in the league, and Washington has fallen all the way to 23rd from a high of 7th at one point. All right, how does this game look? Well, we're going to see what happens. Washington's only a 3.5 point favorite. Right now, their projected lineup has Pangos starting at point guard with Okoro, Markkanen, Wade, and Mobley. So, man, what a different look for them. You may get Kevin Love, some Denzel Valentine in there as well. For me, though, I look straight at Mobley, number one, at 7.8. I think he's a terrific play today. He should get all he can eat of pretty much everything. Lauri Markkanen at 5.8 is a nice play. And Dean Wade at 3.7, cheat on the cheap, is not a bad play at all. You can roll the dice a bit with Kevin Love at 6.7. Even coming off the bench, he's going to contribute a lot offensively. And we've seen flashes of Denzel Valentine contributing and getting decent minutes with the shorthandedness. Is Pangos worth a play at 3.8? A bit risky, but, he's got to play some minutes here. I'm going to be doing a lot of searching here for news on what they're looking at, looking for him minutes-wise. See if I can get some coach speed or beat writer stuff. And I will definitely talk about that in Discord, because Pangos could be a pivotal guy on the slate at just that 3.8 number if he's going to play monster minutes. On the Washington side, looks like you've got a regular starting five for them in Dinwiddie, Beal, KCP, Kuzma, and Gafford. So it does take a little bit away from the punch there, with now having Avdia, Bertans, Kispert off the bench. However, I will say Daniel Gafford's still a strong play. He's only 5K. There's no Montrezl Harrell. He did get the extra run and get to his number easily last time, as we anticipated. And I don't see any reason not to go back there for that 5K price. I also think you really can take a look at Bradley Beal here. I know he's 10-1, but he should be fresh. He missed that last game. I get it. And it is a big number to pay, but I think it's worth consideration. If you want to go to that just lower mid-level pricing, no reason to not consider Spencer Dinwiddie at 7-1 or Kyle Kuzma at 6-8. All right, the late game, 10:30 or 9:30, 2.5 hours later, we have the Golden State Warriors and Denver Nuggets. Golden State favored by 4.5, 214 total, 109.25 for the Warriors and 104.75 for the Denver Nuggets. Coming into the game, Golden State, a very impressive 27-7. Denver has snuck above 500 at 17-16. We have a questionable tag on Jordan Poole. The guys that we know are all definitely out: Draymond Green, Damian Lee, Klay Thompson, James Wiseman. On the Denver side of the ball, Monte Morris is questionable, and Aaron Gordon remains questionable. He's been questionable the last 2 games and was ruled out. Victor Chanchar is questionable as well as Austin Rivers. So a lot of things we need to find out on the Denver side. The only 2 guys we know for sure are out for Denver are Howard and Murray. As far as the numbers go, Golden State 15th in the league in pace. They've slowed down just a bit. Denver's all the way down to 24. And then you've got that number 1 defense from Golden State. They've been in that spot all year. Certainly a deterrent for Denver. Denver a little bit below mid-level in the league at 17th. So is it a Steph Curry buy-up day at 11-4? I mean, you've got some chances here for buy-ups. There's plenty of value, even though it's a 4-gamer. But, Giannis at 11-6, certainly a pay-up potential. Joel Embiid at 11, also the number. And then you have the 2 Nets, Harden 11-1, Durant 11-2. And then in that last game, Beal at 10-1. And then in this game, the big pay-up would be either Curry at 11-4 or the Joker on the other side at 11-9. I think that group that I just mentioned, you can get 2 of them in your lineup and maneuver around with a lot of good value. I'm looking for the first time in quite some time of not going pure stars and scrubs today. That group that I just mentioned, I think I'm going to take one of and then try a medium to medium low build with everybody else and not have to dumpster dive for those last couple of guys and hope they're going to get it done. Now, that could change. It's in the morning. We know all the guys being ruled in and out throughout the day. That certainly can change. And again, I mention it in here all the time. The strategy and build that I put on this podcast, straightforward and honest and exact to everything I'm looking to do. But things happen during the day, and 1 or 2 major ins or outs on the slate shifts everything. It's a domino effect. So it really is, and it is throughout the night. I mean, changes happen during the games. Last night with Gilgeous-Alexander getting ruled out halfway through the slate, that really put a monkey wrench into things. But the bottom line, and the reason I'm mentioning it is, if you join us here at DFS Coach Talk, go to dfscoachtalk.com. We're going to do that work for you. We're going to follow it. We're going to stay with it throughout the entire day. We're going to jump on and get in Discord with you, and we're going to produce these lineups for you after all the news happens. And then once the slate's going, we're going to bob and weave and pivot and do whatever needs to be done there as well. So we'd love to have you. We want to do that really heavy lifting and legwork for you. So give us a try there. If you want to check us out on Twitter too, you can go to @DFS Coach Talk. We're right there. I'm at Joe Sarvadi, JoeSarvadi. I will be jumping in Discord for our members at the 5:30 p.m. slot. We're trying to do that a lot more often just to go over what the games are looking like at that point, sort of get in my head a little bit and ask some questions so that people get ready for the lock time. We post at 6:35 for 7 p.m. lock slates. All right. In this last game, again, we have Curry at that possible 11-4 buy-up, Jordan Poole at 6'5", Wiggins at 6'9", good possibilities. Then, without Draymond, you've got a Juan Toscano-Anderson 3'7", Otto Porter at 5, Iggy at 3'7", Kuminga at 3'2", Peyton at 5'1". There's a lot of options of value here. Then Kevon Looney at 3.6, who sometimes it is very painful to roster him because he does good things out on the court for the Warriors, but he's not a DFS dude. So, a lot of options there and some good value as well. Let's see if Monte Morris plays. He's 4'7". Again, we need to know his news. Aaron Gordon at 5'5" and Austin Rivers at 3'5". That information is going to be crucial when we're building these lineups. Will Barton is down at lowest price I've seen him in a while at 5'7". He's an option. Jeff Green throws a good game in there every once in a while if you want to try to catch that right at 3'7". And then the Joker at that 11-9 number, he's the Joker. Yes, it's against the top defensive team in the league. And, I know Joker didn't get it done the other day, but certainly always a bounce back opportunity for him. So we will see how that rolls as he gets ready for that game tonight. All right, that is it today. We're pretty quick, 4 games. Now, tomorrow's back to the real fun and games for me because we have a 10-game New Year's Eve slate. We have some early games during the afternoon, all kinds of crazy stuff tomorrow. So we'll be updating that and, what we're going to include in our main slate builds, etc. So definitely stay in tune for that, and we'll get all that information together for you. So thank you so much for listening in here on this Thursday. We hope you have a fantastic day. We're looking to go back to the 1% club today and just get after it. So go get them with 4 games. We'll take it. There's some good plays, some value plays, and we will definitely be looking to clean up tonight at Coach Talk. So enjoy it and join me again tomorrow when we'll be looking to crush it in NBA DFS.